Imagine you've lived in the United States for years, maybe even decades, and nobody, not your lawyer, not your caseworker, not even the immigration office, ever sat you down and told you that there is a pathway designed specifically for people like you. A pathway that quietly became available, and most seniors over 60 are still completely unaware of it. What if I told you that California right now has a benefit connected to your green card status that could change your life and the lives of your family members in ways you never thought possible? What if the one thing standing between you and full healthcare coverage, financial support, and in-home care assistance was simply not knowing that it existed? That's the reality for thousands of senior immigrants in California today. Not because they don't qualify, not because the programs aren't funded, but simply because no one ever told them. If you are a senior immigrant, 60 years or older, living in California, stay right here, because what you are about to hear in the next few minutes could be the most important immigration information you have received in years. We are going to break this down completely, clearly, and in a way that you can actually act on. And if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button right now. We cover U.S. visa and immigration news that actually matters to real people. Let's talk about what's really happening. California has long been one of the most immigrant-friendly states in the entire country, and over the past few years, the state has quietly expanded access to certain public benefit programs that are directly tied to lawful permanent resident status. That means green card holders. But here's the part that shocks most people. Seniors specifically, those 60 and above, are often eligible for benefits and protections that younger immigrants are not. And because the information is buried in program guidelines and state policy documents that most people never read, the overwhelming majority of eligible seniors simply don't know they qualify. They are sitting on a benefit they've earned the right to access, and they don't even know it's there. The benefit we're talking about is connected to what California calls the Medi-Cal program, but not the standard Medi-Cal most people know about. There is an expanded category under Medi-Cal that was specifically opened up to older adults, regardless of how long they've had their green card, and regardless of the federal 5-year waiting period that typically blocks many immigrants from accessing public health benefits. That's right. California decided on its own, using state funds, to eliminate that federal waiting period for seniors 60 and above. So if you are a lawful permanent resident, meaning you hold a valid green card, and you are 60 years old or older, California will not make you wait 5 years. You could potentially be eligible right now, today, as you are watching this video. This is not a rumor. This is not speculation. This is state-funded health coverage backed by California law, and the expansion has been one of the most significant but under-publicized policy changes for immigrant seniors in recent memory. Full-scope Medi-Cal, which covers doctor visits, hospital stays, specialist care, prescription medications, mental health services, preventive screenings, and even dental and vision care for some enrollees, is now accessible to qualifying green card holders over 60 in California without that federal 5-year bar standing in the way. But it goes even further than healthcare, and this is where it gets really important. Because once you are enrolled in Medi-Cal as a senior, you open the door to a cascade of other supportive programs that most people have never even heard of. You become potentially eligible for in-home supportive services, known as IHSS, which is a program that pays a caregiver. And in many cases, that caregiver can be a family member to help you with daily activities like bathing, cooking, dressing, and cleaning your home. For seniors who need daily assistance but cannot afford private caregivers, this program is genuinely life-changing. And for families where a son or daughter or a grandchild is quietly helping their elderly parent or grandparent without any compensation, IHSS can actually pay that family member a real documented wage for the care they are already providing every single day. Think about what that means for a moment. A daughter who quit her part-time job to care for her mother? A son who rearranges his entire schedule every week to make sure his father gets to his medical appointments? These family members are doing something extraordinary, and through IHSS, California actually recognizes that contribution and compensates it. This is a benefit that touches not just the senior, but the entire family unit surrounding that senior. Now, here's something even fewer people know, and it may be the single most important thing we say in this entire video. Your green card status and your use of these state-funded programs in California does not necessarily affect your immigration record in the way many immigrants fear. The Federal Public Charge Rule, which is the rule that immigration officers use to determine whether your use of public benefits might make you inadmissible or affect your ability to maintain your status, does not count Medi-Cal or most state-funded benefit programs against you in the same way it counts federal cash assistance or federal supplemental income programs. California's programs are funded with state dollars, not federal dollars, and that distinction matters enormously under immigration law. This means that many green card holders who have been too afraid to apply for any benefits, out of deep fear of jeopardizing their immigration status or their future applications, have been living without help they were legally entitled to receive for years. The fear was completely understandable. It came from a real place. But in many cases, it simply was not necessary, and it caused seniors to suffer needlessly when relief was available. We always want to be clear. Immigration law is complex, and every individual situation is different. If you have specific concerns about how applying for state benefits might affect your particular immigration case, it is always the right move to consult with a qualified immigration attorney before taking action. But the general picture for most lawful permanent residents over 60 in California is far more favorable than most people have been led to believe. There is also the critical question of how to actually apply. The enrollment process for Medi-Cal can be done online through the Covered California website, through your county's social services department, or with the help of a certified enrollment counselor in your area. Many counties across California have dedicated staff members who speak multiple languages, including Spanish, Mandarin, Cantonese, Vietnamese, Tagalog, Korean, Farsi, and Armenian, specifically to help immigrant seniors navigate these applications step by step. You do not have to figure this out on your own, and you absolutely do not need to pay anyone to help you apply for these programs. The enrollment assistance is free, it is available, and it is there specifically for people in your situation. For seniors who came to the United States through family-based immigration, which is how the majority of seniors in California obtained their green cards, through a son, daughter, or spouse who sponsored them, there is sometimes a concern about whether applying for benefits will create a problem for the original sponsor. This is a concern we hear often, and it's a legitimate one worth addressing. The sponsor's affidavit of support is a separate legal matter from your eligibility for California's state-funded senior programs, and in many cases, accessing these benefits will not trigger any repayment obligation on your sponsor. But again, if you have specific concerns about your sponsorship situation, speaking with an attorney who understands both immigration law and public benefits law is always the safest path. The situation that we find most heartbreaking, the one we hear about again and again from people who reach out to this channel, is the senior who has been living in California for 10, 15, even 20 years, who has been quietly struggling every single day, skipping doctor appointments because they cannot afford the out-of-pocket cost, going without critical medications because the price is simply too high, lying awake at night worrying about being a burden to children and grandchildren who are already working as hard as they possibly can. And all along, there was a program sitting there, funded and ready, that could have helped them. That senior could have had full health care coverage. That family could have had real financial and caregiving relief. All because of one piece of information that nobody ever passed along. That is the entire reason this channel exists. We are here to make sure that immigrants, seniors, working adults, families, and newcomers have access to information that is accurate, current, and presented in a way that is actually understandable. The immigration system in the United States is one of the most complicated systems in the world, and the public benefits landscape in a state like California changes constantly. New programs open, eligibility rules shift, deadlines come and go. Staying informed is not optional for people navigating life in this country as an immigrant. It is essential. If you know a senior in your family, in your community, at your mosque, your church, your temple, or simply in your neighborhood who holds a green card and is over 60 years old, please share this video with them today. You could be giving them access to something that genuinely changes the quality of their daily life. A warm home with care. A doctor they can afford to see. A family member who is finally compensated for the love they pour out every day. And if you want to stay ahead of everything happening in U.S. immigration and visa news, from policy changes to benefit updates to green card processing timelines, make sure you are subscribed to this channel with the notification bell turned on, because we are here every week bringing you the information that truly matters.